speaker I have joining me today to present is going to be Samantha Lutz of Donnelly-Boland and Associates and our assistant controller at Donnelly-Boland and Associates, and Raymond Tokar. He is our controller external at Donnelly-Boland and Associates and a CPA as well. They both work with several of our external clients and specialize in QuickBooks, particularly desktop versus online. And this is a big topic for a lot of people, whether you are a small business or maybe a larger organization or nonprofit, on which is going to work better for your organization. Which do accountants prefer? What are the pros and cons of each, etc. So we're also going to be diving into the software a bit today with Ray to give you a real look at what it looks like in the software, what different reporting features you can use, and so on. So we're hoping to have a really good discussion today. Please feel free to ask any questions that you may have, even if they're particularly, if you feel that they're a little bit too specific for your organization. It really helps with our conversation and gets a good one going. So please don't hesitate. We do have a couple housekeeping items before I hand this over to Sam to get started. If you guys look at the bottom of your screen on this Zoom webinar format, there is a Q&A pod and there is a chat pod as well. If you go to the bottom toolbar and hover, this Q&A pod is where you can leave a question if you have one for either Sam or Ray. You can feel free to leave it in there, and you can leave it anonymously if you would like. If you just have more of a thought or a general comment to add to the conversation, you can leave that one in the chat pod at any time. We'll be periodically checking these both, and I will bring up these questions or comments to Sam or Ray as we go along through the presentation so they're not missed. We keep in mind we will also have a Q&A session at the end, time permitting. If you have anything that you feel like you forgot to mention earlier or any last minute questions. But we will be sending out contact information in a follow-up email after the webinar today. So if you still have some questions you feel like you missed, you will have a chance to ask them then. But without further ado, I am going to pass this over to Samantha to get us started today. And again, thank you everybody for being here. And like I said, if you have any questions at any time, please feel free to drop them in the chat pod or the Q&A. And yeah, we'll get this going. Sam, if you want to take it.
Okay. Hi. Like Anna said, I'm Samantha Lutz, an assistant controller with Donnelly-Boland. I'm just going to go over our agenda items really quick. Sorry. Okay. So today we're going to go over the QuickBooks products that are offered, some pros and cons of the different QuickBooks options. We're going to go through a couple keynotes, the integrated apps that are available, and then Ray's going to dive into QuickBooks to show you some of the actual software and how it works. So we're just going to start off really quick with a poll question. And that question is, who has used QuickBooks before? So we'll give everybody a couple minutes just to answer the question. Okay. All right, so it looks like about half of you have used desktop before, and a quarter of you haven't used QuickBooks at all, and a quarter of you have used QuickBooks Online. So it's a pretty good mix. So QuickBooks Online offers 4 different levels of services that you can utilize. Simple, Essentials, Plus, and Advanced. Sorry, there's an error on that. So Simple is just for one user, and that's going to cost you around $25 a month. And then the advanced option, you can have more than 5 users, but that's $180 a month. So the more users that you need, the more costly the software becomes. So this is also going to range from $300 to $2,160 a year. For desktop, there is a Premier version and an Enterprise version. The Premier version allows you to have up to 5 users, and the Enterprise version allows you to have up to 40 users. So it ranges per number of users and costs. So for Premier, it's $549 a year for one user, and then it can go up to $1,749, where Enterprise ranges from $1,340 to $3,744 a year, depending on how many users. So whenever you're comparing them, the different plans you'll determine which plan you need based on number of users. Functionality, there are some differences. However, the main focus is the number of users that you'll need. So a couple pros and cons of QuickBooks. QuickBooks Online versus QuickBooks Desktop is QuickBooks Online is a cloud-based software, whereas QuickBooks Desktop is installed to a specific computer or server. So you can operate QuickBooks Desktop without internet, but QuickBooks Online you need internet to have. QuickBooks Online also offers a mobile app where desktop does not, because it's installed on one specific device. Multiple users, desktop can only be accessed from the computer that it is downloaded on, or if it's using a server, and it costs a little bit extra to have it on multiple devices. Where QuickBooks Online, you can use it from anywhere, any computer. It's a lot easier to access. QuickBooks Online has a subscription for your monthly payments. You'll get automatic updates, whereas for desktop, you have to pay $9.99 a month to have the subscription updated. So there is a little bit of an additional fee associated with QuickBooks Desktop. Upgrading the different systems. Online is very easy to upgrade. You don't need to reinstall software. You just go in, change your settings, select that you'd like to switch from the simple plan to the essentials plan, and everything on the back end automatically updates. Whereas desktop, you actually need to go in and convert the data from one software to another. So it takes a little bit more time, and it's more complex to actually transition from one software to the next. Here's some additional pros and cons. The automation and integration features are significantly different from online and desktop. With online, there are over 500 different apps that you can integrate with the software, whereas desktop only has about 200. So there's a lot more options whenever it comes to which payroll company you'd like to use, which time tracking system you would like to use whenever it comes to online versus desktop. And then you can also set up mapping for transactions. So what that means is for QuickBooks Online, you can set up mapping for transactions to automatically post to specific accounts. So if you're going in every month and saying, oh, my water bill should go to account number 2240. Instead of having to go and encode it, you can say, every single time I see a payment coming in from water company ABC, that should automatically code to this account. And every month it'll code itself and you'll just have to verify that that's the correct account. You won't have to actually go in and select it and enter the data. So that is some of the mapping options that are available with QuickBooks Online that you don't have available with QuickBooks Desktop. The reporting features of QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop are both very different. Desktop has a lot more preset reports. There's about 50 additional reports in QuickBooks Desktop than there are in QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks Online, however, has a management report. So you can run the management report and it will have a cover letter in any reports that you'd like to have with it, a profit and loss, a balance sheet, your budget versus actual report, whatever reports that you would like to see as a company, you can add to be part of that management report and it will populate for you with a cover letter rather than printing out reports just in Excel or Word or as a PDF. QuickBooks Online has industry specific reporting. So there are different options whenever you're picking your QuickBooks Online software where you can say, okay, I need a version for a contractor. And that'll include additional features to help you organize job costs by vendors. And then you can create job estimates and track the orders through that specific software. It has a little bit more tailored features to meet the needs of a contractor. There's also manufacturing specific reporting functions, wholesale and distribution, retail, nonprofit, professional services, and an accountant's version. So some of the features that may be beneficial for someone who is a nonprofit is it can help create your year-end donation statements to track contributions from donors. And then it can also identify expenses present for you to present to your board and create your 990 forms. So there's different features in each one that's specific to that industry. So just a couple of keynotes that Ray and I thought might be beneficial to know. 98% of customers agree that QuickBooks Online is easier to maintain than QuickBooks Desktop. And I believe that the biggest reason that it is easier to maintain is because it's more accessible. You can access it from anywhere. It has a mobile app that you're able to, in real time, look at data that's being pulled in from your bank account automatically because of the automation feature. And then 7 million customers use QuickBooks globally. So that doesn't mean you have 5 users in your account. That is one company is a customer. And then QuickBooks is the #1 accounting software for small businesses. And it's Donnelly-Boland and Associates. We partner with many small businesses to help them set up their accounts. And we also offer a discounted rate on your QuickBooks Online software, and it's 30% off the retail value if you're underneath our umbrella. Okay. So does anybody have any questions about the software's differences? So we're going to go into our next polling question. So have you worked in QuickBooks Online and do you currently use any integrated apps? Just give it a couple more seconds for people to respond. So it looks like a little less than half would like to learn more about integrated apps, Ray. So I'm going to hand it over to Ray so that he can tell you guys more about integrated apps.
Thank you very much, Sam. Once you give me host, I will reshare my screen with the PowerPoints. All right, I am now the host. Let me share my screen here. All right, well, thank you, Sam, for that beginning part of this this seminar and everything like that. It was great information. And again, I'd like to introduce myself again. I'm Raymond Tokar. I'm with Donnelly-Boland Associates. I've been with Donnelly-Boland for 8+ years now. Pretty much all those 8 years I've worked in desktop or online. Desktop was when I first started, but online is the up and coming software. It's really not up and coming anymore. It's already been out there for a while now. So that is the software that, like Sam said prior, it's the main app that a lot of people and small businesses use at this point in time. So it's a great app to use, and I will dive more into that. I will talk probably a little bit more about online than desktop, but I will dive into both of those softwares here later in the seminar. So really, like everyone said, everyone wants to learn more about those integrated apps that QuickBooks Online really has. Desktop does have some apps too, but online is where the apps are really advantageous for a lot of our clients and everything like that. So integrated apps are all of the applications that can be directly linked up with your QuickBooks. Currently, right now, there are over 650 apps available on the QuickBooks Online Marketplace. I remember I did a seminar like 2 or 3 years ago at this point, and there was around 500. So they are growing in the apps and everything like that. These apps can help simplify tasks and streamline data entry. It definitely helps increase automation and reduces the amount of time spent on manual data entry. These apps have a direct connection, so you can complete all the tasks within those specific apps. And then that information is directly fed into your QuickBooks file. So you don't have to switch back and forth, copy information. Really, it's all just it's pretty much automated, like I said earlier. Just like Sam said earlier too, you cannot purchase an industry-specific QuickBooks Online software. But with that being said, the integrated apps can help you customize your QuickBooks file and as well give you access to a lot of that industry-specific items to be able to feed directly into your QuickBooks Online. So again, it gets to your end product, but really those apps can help you with industry-specific items like inventory. QuickBooks Online does have an inventory system, but not as robust as if you go and get this one app. Or maybe you don't like QuickBooks Online payroll, but you like different payroll systems like Gusto, and I'll talk about those different types of apps going forward. But all of those items, you can do them in the apps and it will automatically transition right into QuickBooks Online. So next, I want to talk about the different types of apps that are offered through the QuickBooks Online Marketplace. So right here, first you will want to log into QuickBooks Online. On the left side of your screen, there will be an apps category. That's where you can select. This is where it'll take you into the marketplace for integrated apps. You can search through many different apps. Again, there's different categories like popular or trending, even free or even premium. So I will show you the different apps in QuickBooks Online when we go into the system. To help search for different apps as well, there are different categories set up. Again, they can range from different things like managing AP or payroll and HR, tracking expenses, inventory and time, preparing taxes, perform certain analytics, and as well managing projects and everything like that, and products. So a few that I have used directly at this time, like I said, would be Gusto, which is a payroll and HR app. You will log into Gusto and complete all your payroll and HR related items. Once the payroll is completed, the journal entry is automated and automatically flows directly into QuickBooks, making it a very easy and seamless transition from those two different systems. Again, you can set it up where it can be manual. You can set it up where it auto adds into QuickBooks. There's a lot of different features in regards to that. Another app that we currently use is Fathom. Fathom is a great reporting tool that tracks metrics like profitability, cash flow, growth, and other key performance indicators. It helps show how well your business is currently performing. And again, I will dive into these more in detail on QuickBooks Online and the desktop software. So those are the integrated apps. So I do have another polling question here that I would like to pull up here before we actually dive into the software. So the question would be, what type of reports do you like to receive monthly, or that you like to run monthly, that you like to look at on a monthly basis? Because how I'm looking at it, again, you can choose balance sheet, profit loss, budget versus actual, or all of the above. I will say most of the people will say all of the above because all three of those reports will definitely give you everything that you need. And there's other reports. And again, I will show you whenever we dive into those systems. So I'll give you guys another 30 seconds to answer, and then we will dive into QuickBooks. All right, 5 more seconds. All right, I'm going to end the poll now. Let's share the results. And just over 80% of you said all of the above. 70%, 17% said profit and loss. Again, profit and loss is used to see that net income. That balance sheet is very important to me as an accountant. Balance sheet shows you everything carries on forever. Profit loss only carries for a certain period of time and then gets reset pretty much. But hey, all three of those reports I run on a monthly basis for all of my clients. So moving on. So diving into QuickBooks, the software, what I want to be able to do is I want to show you guys around the app store. Again, I went into the integrated apps, but I want to actually show you the store, show you what features are there, what different apps are available, all that kind of stuff. So we'll look into that. We can look into the bank linking feature and the auto add feature. Again, this is a big major feature that QuickBooks Online has pushed, and as well helps a lot of clients out with automation, so you don't have to touch and do a lot of manual entry. And then the last thing would be the different reporting features. And again, we can look at that desktop versus online, different reporting features. Again, Sam was mentioning that there's 50 plus more preset reports that are on QuickBooks Desktop, but as well on the other side, online has management reporting, which is great for board meetings and any meetings that you're having on a monthly basis with clients or your board. So with that being said, let's hop out of the PowerPoint slide and let's hop into desktop first. So just want to make sure that sharing the right screen. So we're looking at QuickBooks Desktop here at this point in time. So what I have here is I created a sample company that we are going to use so we can look through this. And give me 1 second. I want to unshare and move it to a different screen here for you guys. All right, let me share it again. All right. So now you guys see here the sample company for QuickBooks Desktop. It's a great feature that if you have desktop, you can always run a sample company at any point in time. You can play around in it so you can see in the different features, but really you're not affecting your current QuickBooks file that you're using and doesn't change anything. You don't have to delete anything or void anything at any point in time. So the different reporting features, the first thing is really always, before I hop into the actual reports, is I like to create a budget. Again, I mentioned a budget versus actual report. A budget versus, you have to create a budget into the system. So if you go to company, planning and budgets and set up budgets, that's where you can actually set up a whole new budget when you go into desktop. It's a great feature. So you can have actual performance measurements and as well your budget so you can compare to what is actual. You can budget for the next year and as well be able to see what has changed. It really gives you an explanation of what's going on with every single one of your accounts. So this is where you create new budgets. You can create for any fiscal year, time frame, or calendar year. You can create for a profit loss. The big thing is on desktop is you can create a balance sheet budget as well. I've never really used a balance sheet budget before, but again, if you have a lot of capital expenditures in that regard, it could be very useful in that regard. So you can set it up by class or customer, many different features there. You can create from scratch, or you can even create from previous year's data. So you can see all the data is filled in whenever you hit previous year. And then you hit save and hit OK, and really your budget is created. So it's a great feature to use there. So next, I want to dive into the reports. The reporting here, like we said, there's a lot of different reports here. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, you can see even Intuit has updated their system to give you some PPP related items. If you have any PPP loans and you need to show how much cash or how many FTEs you have and all that kind of stuff, all readily available for you. So then you can go to the report center, or you can create memorized reports, scheduled reports that can send out reports for you. And then there's a lot of different reports here, company snapshots. Again, that's all directly on the front screen on online. But again, the company snapshot gives you an overview of a lot of different areas. Company and financial, this is where you'll find your profit and loss, your balance sheet. But again, you can see there's a detailed version, a year-to-date comparison, a lot of preset reports already created for you in the system. Here's a balance sheet summary, previous year comparison. And then as well, there's a statement of cash flows and cash flow forecast. So all these are the main reports that you're running out of the system. But then as well, it goes into certain things like AR aging. You can see what is outstanding on your invoicing. Sales, you can see sales by customers or by item. Job time and mileage. This includes your profitability, job profitabilities, your unbilled cost, mileage, all that kind of stuff. Vendors and payables, this includes your AP aging, any bills that you have outstanding, and as well, this helps you run your 1099 reports at the end of the year, and as well sales tax liability. Employee and payroll, if you want to run payroll summaries, if you're doing payroll through QuickBooks, you'll have all that information in here. Banking, this is where you can see deposit detail, previous reconciliations, great reports there. Accountants and taxes, this is where you can see your trial balance, general ledger, audit trail, great reports there. And then as well, there's your budget overview, budget versus actual. So I'll first run a budget overview because this is the report that we just created. So right here, if I can do it by month, hit next and finish, and you can see actually here's all your information. And again, you can change any reporting here to certain things. So I like to run it in a total so you can see here's your actual budget for this year. So, and then if a lot of people I know, whenever I'm going through board meetings and stuff, I always have to make the numbers bigger. If you right click here, you can actually, if you right click on the screen, it will go your report data and you can change the size. So that's what I normally do there. So let's go into a few more reports. Again, profit loss, a big report that we like to run. Certain things, you can customize the report here. You can run it for certain time frames. This is where you can run it for the fiscal year, the calendar year, last month. Again, a lot of this fiscal year to last month. Hit OK. So then you can see that time frame. Then as well, you can also change it to be monthly. You can change it to be yearly, all that kind of stuff. So different columns. So you can see how everything's running on a monthly basis. You can see your trends up and down on a monthly basis. Again, a very great report to run and look at what your profitability is on a monthly basis. Other little things, you can change it from an accrual to cash basis of accounting if you want to go into those types of things. Other customizing things are filters. You can do certain little filters like amount or accounts or even classing. You can go through any of those things and filter them out. So it makes the reports a lot less cumbersome if you want to see certain things like, oh, all I want to see is all of our other and ordinary income accounts right here. So really, it only gives you your top line. This is all your revenue for those time frames. Now that you did all those customizations, though, you can click memorize here, memorizing this report, and we want to call this income accounts, something like that. And you hit OK. That will actually create that memorized report, and then you can go back and rerun that at any point in time. So you don't have to do the customizations again. So you go to reports, memorize reports, and then you can see right there, there's that profit and loss income accounts. So easy way to run it there. So next, let's run a balance sheet. Let's go look at a balance sheet. Let's customize it. Let's run this for maybe 6 months. And let's run this month by month. And you can see here, you can see your trends for your cash. You can see the cash has been going down here slowly. So that's something to pay attention to. But again, why is your cash going down? Maybe because your AR is going up. Maybe you need to start receiving more of your invoices and reaching out to your customers. So that's where you can see all these trends and everything like that. You can see your net income on a monthly basis down here and your equity and all that kind of stuff. Here's your loans, your liabilities, everything in that regard. Another way, like I said, is you run this year over year. So we can run this by year. And I'll take it back to 22, and you can see the QuickBooks started, at least for the sample company, is starting in 24. But you can see year over year how it's trending. So again, cash has went down another 115,000. So it's something to be paying attention to if you're looking at your reporting features and everything like that. Again, you can memorize it. You can email it to people. You can send it to Excel, or you can even just print it if you need to. So, and then there's also, you can see all these little arrows. We can actually collapse all the rows and make the reports even smaller. It makes it much easier to read. And again, maybe your board members don't want to see as much information, so you want to collapse all those information for them. So that, and then the last report I'd like to run in here is your budget versus actual. It's a great report. And again, I'm going to run a budget versus actual on the online side. So let's run this profit loss budget performance, because this is a report that actually QuickBooks Online does not currently have at this point in time. So let's run our budget versus actual that we completed there. And then you notice that there was no information in 23, but this is a great report to run if you do have the information in for those certain periods of time. So you can see it will run for the month. It always starts with the month that you're running it for, then the budget for that month, because you ran your budget by month. Then the third column is your year to date. So it's going to be from the start of your fiscal year to what end date you ran here. So again, it's giving you side-by-side information. Year-to-date budget, so that will give you the same time frame here as the year-to-date. And then as well, it'll give you your annual budget. So it'll give you your full time frame. This is a great report to run. This is a report that I am talking to online about for QuickBooks Online. It's a great report that we run whenever we have clients in desktop. There's reports online that are different, but you can always generate this if need be online, but you have to do an extra work than just running it just like this. So yeah, there's a lot of different reports here, a lot of different features. If there's any questions in regards to desktop, I will have this up for us. I can always come back to it if anyone has any questions in regards to it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hop over into online at this point. So QuickBooks Online, you can see here. QuickBooks Online, it again, has a different layout than desktop in itself. But again, whenever you're in QuickBooks Online, if you have your QuickBooks Online software and your QuickBooks account, but again, if you ever go to this gear icon up here, you can actually click sample company. And I can go back to our practice real quick and I can show you what I'm talking about. I need to log back in real quick. All right, so whenever you're logging in, you saw that front screen, that's where you're going to select your QuickBooks company. But then in the gear icon in the top right here, you will see how it says your company and you can click on sample company. Again, sample company is where I go to do anything that I don't know what to do in the system. I can play around with it. It won't save and I won't lose anything or add anything and have to remove it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the apps. I talked about the apps on the slides, but I want to dive into it. Just like I said in the whenever we're going through the PowerPoint, if you go over to the left side, scroll all the way down and you can see apps here. You click on apps here, you will see here's the apps marketplace pretty much. This is where you can search for anything that you possibly need. And again, there's over 650 of them, so there's a ton of them. And again, they give you ratings for every single one. So you can see this one's 4 stars, 5 stars, all that kind of stuff in regards to this. Just like I said, there's premium apps. There is most popular apps. So you can see the different apps there. There's free apps built by QuickBooks. So you can go into these few ones and you can just have them linked and connect to Square. That's your Square if you're doing sales through Square and everything like that. Here's more free apps. Here's highest rated apps. And then there's free apps down here as well. So a lot of different categories to help you out with that as well. If you want to browse the categories, if you click down here, you can see different items like managing workers, making payments, managing customers, tracking expenses, inventory, and time. Again, great area if you ever need anything in regards to that. So if you want to run payroll, here, you can see how there's different apps and there's different payrolls that you can run. So you can do ADP, you can do Gusto, Paychecks, there's QuickBooks Payroll and HR and Benefits, there's all kinds of different payroll and HR systems here. And you can see there's a lot to choose from. And you can see, like I said, based off of stars. And as well, you should be able to click directly into them. And every single one will show you this. It'll give you an overview, the pricing, the reviews, and then what else similar products there are. And again, some of them have nice little demos here. So you can actually see the system before you actually download it. Again, the overview gives you a great thing of what it does, how it works, the details, all that kind of stuff. But then again, these apps, again, most of them cost money. So you have to decide if it's worth it for you on top of already the QuickBooks Online software. But there's free apps as well. So you can see the different pricing, the reviews, and again, you can see the different things, perfect integration, not for farm entities, all that kind of stuff. So it helps you. And again, you can see bad customer service, everything in that regard. So again, if maybe you didn't like Gusto, maybe we want to see, a higher star rating. Okay, maybe we want to see payroll by Patriot. Again, like I said, you can see everything here, just like I was doing before. Another item is I showed you, or I talked about, is something that I'm doing is it's called Fathom. So Fathom, I clicked on Browse Category and Perform Analytics. There's many different analytic companies here, but again, the one that I'm currently using is Fathom for our company. And again, it helps you assess the profitability and cash flow and growth and all those KPIs. It also helps you compare, rank, and benchmark your companies. So it's a great app. You can watch the video, you can see the pricing, all that kind of stuff, and all the reviews. So again, all the apps, great to see. If you need to know any other apps, or if you need to look them up, you can look them up too. You can search payroll just like I did, and you can see the different apps that pop up for payroll, all that kind of stuff. Even popular searches like Stripe, which is your credit card processing company. If you need to sync your Stripe account, even ratings over here. So it's great to have there. Another great feature for QuickBooks Online that I don't use currently for desktop is if you click this business overview, again, this is just like that company snapshot. You can see certain things like profit and loss, expenses, invoices, sales, all that kind of stuff. And you can run it for different time frames and stuff too. But on this right side is the bank accounts. You can link all your bank accounts and credit cards directly to your banks and have it automatically feed in all of your transactions that are happening on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. You can actually click update at any time and it will feed it over to your system. So if you click into the checking account here, again, that's where you can click link up here, update, and that's where it will spin and it will update all your transactions down here. So there's a lot of different features here, but what I love about it the most is if you're entering the transactions before, you can match them all. If you're entering things that are recurring, you can hit add here. So you hit this, you click on this line, select the category, and the category is your account name and your chart of accounts. So whatever one you would choose here, you can choose supplies, and then it's books by Bessie, and then we can hit add, and you can see it automatically add, and you won't have to worry about it. But then as well, you will see certain things like this, book by Bessie's. And if you booked this already, you sent a check or anything like that, or paid EFT, and you already had that, you can search it and say it's booked by Bessie's, the bank detail, this bill payment, and hit match. And then that will be gone. So all of these will match to certain transactions. What that will allow you to do is whenever you go to reconcile that bank account at the end of the month, which is in the gear icon, and hit reconcile, those transactions that you already have matched will already be matched on your bank reconciliation as well. So if you feed all of your transactions through this, add, match, find it, there's a way to find certain things as well. But if you do all of that, that will allow you to reconcile the bank account in one click. You go on there and it's already reconciled, and it's a great feature. It automates a lot of things and saves a lot of time. So another item that I want to show you here in the bank linking is you can auto add and create a role. So let's do a rental. This is a A1 rental. Let's create this vendor because it's not created right now. Then we want it to go to utilities. We'll just say that. And then down here, you can click create role. Creating this role, let's just name it A1 rental, money out. And then what happens is if the description shows a rental, it will, and I guess this is something new. You can actually test the role. The role apply this role will apply to 2 currently unreviewed transactions. This is something new. I've never noticed this. And again, another feature of QuickBooks Online, constantly being updated on a monthly basis, where desktop, you're only getting it one time every year. If you're upgrading every year, upgrading every 3 years, you're not getting the newest features. So then it will assign to an expense, utilities, and A1 rental, the vendor. So if you click this though down here, it will automatically add it too. So if it sees those criteria, it will automatically add it to those utilities and remove it from the screen. So let's hit save here. And you saw those 3 transactions up at the top. Now this is a deposit, but that other transaction right there, auto added. And if you ever need to go see what was ever categorized, you can click on categorized up here and you will see there's that A1 rental and how it auto added into the system. So it's a great feature if you have a lot of recurring transactions, a lot of things that are the exact same that you want to flow into the same expense accounts. So this is the big thing that a lot of the accountants use at this point in time. And then again, if you need to look at your roles, you can go to roles at the top here. See, there's the A rental created. And then there's also this receipts tab that you can click, and you can drop and upload receipts directly into your system. And sometimes the system can actually read the invoice and auto add features as well directly from there. So then the last thing I want to talk about today is the reporting in QuickBooks Online. So you can see reports over there on the bottom left again. Click on reports, and then this is how reports looks like for QuickBooks Online. So you can create favorites. That's by hitting the stars, and that's where you see balance sheet, profit loss, AR, all those different types of accounts. So again, there's a lot of preset ones, but not as many as desktop. Again, you can see the comparisons and balance sheet, business snapshot, and then who owes you. They do different categories. So this is where your AR would be, sales by customers, invoice, and that's where you can get your income by customers. What you owe, 1099s, AP, expenses by vendor. So there's a lot of different categories here. And then if you run payroll in here as well. The biggest feature I'd like to show is this management reports. If you click on management reports, this is a great feature to use and run your reports on a monthly basis to present to your clients, to your board, to any people that want to see your financial statements. It creates a nice layout and has a front page. I will show you exactly what it looks like. So company overview, let's click on company overview here. And what that will do is actually pull up the report that would actually be created. So you can see it creates a management report. Let's download this so it actually looks easier in regards to this. I will pull it up real quick. All right, so this is what the report looks like. You have management report. You can put your logo here, when it was prepared by. It's only for management use. It gives you a table of contents, so you can go to certain things like your profit, loss, balance sheet. And again, you can customize any report and then automatically add it into these reports. So then again, it runs your profit loss. You can see your profit loss here. You can see your balance sheet. And again, that's your report. It's a very nice report to run. But again, let's go and edit it real quick and we can see what else we can do. So what you can do is change your cover style. So it looks like this more. And you can, again, you can add your logo. You can name it whatever you want. You have your table of contents. You have your preliminary pages if you want to enter any notes or anything about your financial statements. If your accountant can't be there and you need to type notes, and you can present to the board that way. Here's where you can add your reports. You can add new reports at any point in time, any of these reports, and you can create custom reports as well to add into here. And then as well, you have your end note page, again, notes to the financials, and if you want to add any notes in that regard too. So again, it's a very great feature. And then as well, you can have it set up to automatically send to people as well. You can send directly to other individuals by email directly out of the system. So you can send it to someone, CC people, what you're sending them. Great feature as well. So a lot of these reports you can set up, and they can actually auto send on a monthly basis too. So again, certain little features like that online, it's something that I'm more pushing towards than desktop. But again, depending on the client itself, how big they are, industry specific, it can change accordingly. So with that being said, let me go back to the PowerPoint to finish up. So again, we dove into QuickBooks software. I showed you through those few features. So I just want to go through some key takeaways that we talked about today. Again, Sam went through the QuickBooks products, how there's many different features, many different groupings on QuickBooks Online. There's 4 different ones, ranging from simple and self-employed all the way up to advanced, and each feature has something different. The pros and cons of QuickBooks, showing the differences between the desktop and online versions, and how automation is more towards the online version, but industry-specific software is for desktop. I went through the integrated apps that you can have for QuickBooks Online and directly link, and it helps you customize your reports. It helps you with metrics. It helps you with payroll, helps you with many different features. I went through the different reporting features on desktop and online, and how there's more preset, but there's a management report online, many different features there. And then as well, I went through the bank automation feature that is online, which is great to have. And again, I utilize on a daily basis at this point for all of my clients as much as I can to automate as much as possible as well.